Hello, happy Monday. Welcome to our 45-minute yoga class. We're going to go ahead and get started in either a comfortable seat, or I am going to take a reclined posture, knees up to the ceiling. Maybe take the feet as wide as the yoga mat if you are moving in the same direction I am. Knees falling together. And if you have decided to stay in a seated position, wherever you are, just make sure that you're lifting through the spine, up through the pelvis, nice and long, lots of space between the crown and the tail. And together, no matter what shape we're making, we'll inhale through the nose down into the belly. I would encourage you to start bringing a weight and an awareness to the body. Feeling the bottom of the feet connecting with the mat, or the outside of the feet if you're in a cross-legged position. The way the knees are touching together. The weight in the belly or in the hips if you're seated. Trusting and remembering that your foundation is supporting you. And you don't have to work so hard to keep yourself supported. If you've lost your connection with your body awareness, that's okay. Either draw yourself back in, or maybe take a moment to recognize and observe how you were filling the space, filling the silence. There's no wrong answers. We're here for just a few more breath cycles, embracing this space we're creating for ourselves. And using your next inhale, we'll heel toe, the feet all the way together until the soles are touching, and let the knees open wide. If you are upright in a seated position, you can do this there as well by bringing the soles together, letting the knees open. If there's ever too much uncomfortable pressure in the groin, you can ball up your fists, bring them pinky side down, right on the outside of the thigh where the top of the thigh meets the glute, building the earth up to you a little bit with our natural prop. One more breath here. Exhale, we help the legs come back together by guiding them with the hands on the outside of the thighs. We lift the knees towards the chest, giving a gentle pressure, encouraging the knees to reach towards the face, hands interlaced around the shins or the knees. Belly's heavy. Maybe we give a little rocking motion from side to side. And we find a moment of stillness. One more inhale, and on the exhale, arms are coming out wide to a T at our sides, wrists in line with the shoulders. We push the heels away from the body until the shins are parallel with the mat, scooping the tailbone so the low back is nice and flush. You can put pressure into the palms, the fingertips, to help stabilize you if that feels right and natural and supportive. And on your next exhale, we're moving both legs over to the left. So we're squeezing knees together and arches together as we roll all the way over. You can let the knees and legs fall all the way to the ground if that's comfortable. If you have a pillow close that you want to place there to help lift the ground up to you, that's great. Let's go ahead and do that so that we can rest a little bit into this twist. Notice your interaction with your shoulders and your interaction with the breath. Next, inhale, belly button to spine as we lift the legs back up through center. And let them fall over to the other side. finding a supportive position, maybe blocks or pillows or blankets underneath the legs. Maybe letting the legs fall all the way to the ground if your body allows it. Being mindful and aware of the shoulders, the upper body, everywhere that's trying to support you. Next, inhale, we're going up and through the midline, back over to the left. This time we're going to let the legs hover, pinning the right shoulder down to the ground, pressing into the fingertips if you need to. Exhale through center, over to the right, letting the legs hover. So engaging and waking up our center. Exhale, back through center, over to the left, letting the legs hover. And this time we're going to straighten the top leg, toes reaching back towards the body. One more breath. Exhale, release the top leg, legs through center, over to the right. Hover. And then we straighten the top leg, toes pull back towards the body. Exhale through center and gently set the soles of the feet on the mat just for a brief rest. We'll keep the arms out wide to help stabilize us. Inhale, we lift the soles of the feet off the ground again, shins parallel with the mat. Exhale, we're sending both heels up towards the ceiling, straightening the legs. Toes reach down towards the face. Tailbone is scooped towards the ceiling to protect the low back. We become aware and mindful of the shoulders and the chin, bringing the chin slightly closer towards the chest, keeping length in the back of the neck. Exhale, point the toes up towards the ceiling. Inhale, toes towards the face. Exhale, toes towards the ceiling. Inhale, towards the face. Exhale, towards the ceiling. Inhale, towards the face. Last one. Exhale, towards the ceiling. And on your next inhale, we gently release, knees to the chest, arms wrap around the shins, interlacing, gently squeezing knees towards the face. Inhale, we let the knees separate, keeping the toes, big toes, kissed together. Hands run down the front of the shins until we clasp gently onto either the ankles or the outer edges of the feet. Ooh. Finding your stability, shoulders reach back down to the mat, tailbone reaches towards the front edge of the mat. On an exhale, we're shining hamstrings and soles up to the ceiling or the sky, wherever you are. Big inhale Long exhale. Last cycle in our happy baby, big inhale. Long exhale. And gently we release. Big toes kiss together, hands run up the shins. Right knee stays where it's at, left foot steps down to the mat and then extends out towards the front edge, leg nice and long. Gently we squeeze right knee towards the right shoulder. Exhale, right knee towards the left shoulder. A little move over the midline. Inhale, right shoulder. Exhale over to the left. This time we're going to use our left hand to help guide the right leg the rest of the way over off the left side of the mat. Inhale. Exhale back through center, and we're letting the knee fall all the way wide off the right side of the mat. So sole of the foot comes to the left inner thigh. And the knee splays open, groin shining up towards the ceiling. Exhale. Using the right hand on the outside of the thigh, we help guide the leg back through center. And again, take the right leg across the midline over to the left. Exhale back through center. Right sole to inner left thigh, right knee splays open to the right. Exhale back through center, right leg over to the left. This time when we get there, we straighten the right leg, toes reach towards the face. Right shoulder is pinned down to the mat. Exhale, we release the right leg, bringing it back through center. Gently setting the sole of the right foot on the mat. We'll bring the left knee up to meet the right, both knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Right leg lifts to cross right ankle over left leg. Maybe the right hand comes to the inner right thigh and we gently press the right leg away from the face. Using our next inhale, maybe our next move is lifting the right leg off the ground. Maybe clasping the right foot and the right knee for some additional support. And maybe this is where you land today. But if you're ready to take a new move or the next move, interlace the fingers behind the thigh, behind the hamstring, gently pulling knee towards the face. One more inhale. And exhale, we gently lower left leg, unraveling. Left knee stays where it's at as we let the right foot reach towards the front edge of the mat. Left knee catches at the shin as we tug left knee towards left shoulder. Exhale, left knee towards right shoulder. Exhale, left knee to left shoulder. Exhale, left knee to right shoulder. This time, right hand on left knee as we guide the left leg over to the right side of the mat. Exhale, left leg through center as we drop the left sole to the right inner thigh, letting the left knee lay open at the side. Exhale, left knee back through center as we guide it across the midline over to the right. Exhale through center, opening left leg to the left, inner thigh, groin, inside of the knee, all shining up towards the ceiling. Inhale back through the midline over to the right. This time we straighten the left leg, reaching the toes back towards the face. Exhale, we release back through the midline to center, dropping the left sole, bringing the left leg to, or excuse me, the right leg to meet the left. Lifting left leg to cross ankle over the right thigh. Staying here with maybe a gentle pressure from the left hand on the inner thigh. Or maybe we lift right leg off the ground, shin parallel to the mat. Maybe having guiding hand support on the left knee and left foot. Maybe we gently push or pull the right knee towards the face, towards the body. And option always to interlace the fingers behind the hamstring. And last inhale. And exhale, we release the right foot to the mat, left foot to the mat. Both knees fall over to the left side as we start to roll onto our left side to a little fetal position here. So tucking the left arm underneath the head. Taking a moment here to feel stable, Let the blood start to move in a way that works for you. In our next inhale, we're going to bring our top leg off the long edge of the mat, arch face down, and keep the leg as straight or bent as you prefer. And then we draw the bottom leg slightly behind us so that it's easier to bring our heel to our hip. So bending at the knee, using that front leg to support us. And then maybe we use that top arm to reach around, clasping the toes of the bent leg. That means we need to open up the chest a little bit towards the ceiling to reach. That's fine. Maybe you have long limbs like me and you can use those to work in your favor. You have a strap that you would like to use as an extension. Maybe a rolled up blanket or towel. That's a great option here. One more breath. Being mindful of the shoulders, we're pulling them still away from the ears like we do. And exhale, we'll gently release the bottom leg, bringing the ankle in line with the knee, in line with the hip. So we now are creating a stable foundation in the bottom leg. Right hand can come to the front body, right in front of the heart space, palm face down, so that we are stable. To bring our right leg or the top leg on top of the bottom leg, arch to arch. So you can stay with your arm tucked underneath your head here, or if it feels better to come up onto the forearm, that's fine too. Either way, together, in whatever way that feels stable, we're going to bring the right leg or the top leg bent at the knee to draw the heel towards the hip. So we're in another version of our reclined or seated bound angle pose or butterfly pose. Now, with the right hand, if it feels stable, we'll clasp onto the toe or onto the ankle and staying here if this feels good. This feels great for me in the groin, the low back, the glute. If this is a little unstable, you can bend the knee of the bottom leg, sending the foot behind you a little in space so that you're creating a wider platform. So stay here if this feels good, or we're going to play around with straightening this top leg. So instead of activating through the hamstrings and using the strength in our hamstrings and our thighs to move this leg, we're going to instead imagine moving this from the hip socket. So we're rotating from the hip socket. Maybe you get here. Maybe you get here. Maybe your bottom leg is straight and that's where you're at today. Maybe you're only here for 2 seconds and you need to come back out again. Either way, that's okay. We're here for several more breath cycles. So find a movement that works for you. Last one. We'll gently release the grip in our toes and roll right on to our bellies. Forehead kisses down to the mat as we flip the feet, tops of the feet face down. Taking a breath of rest as we continue to let the blood settle. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. Your next inhale, we'll start to press into the fingertips. Elbows are tight to the side body. As we lift gently, gaze is the last thing to rise. Baby cobra. Exhale, fold. Make any adjustments that you need to. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, fold. Last one, inhale. Exhale, fold. Good. We're going to roll onto our other side. First, taking our top foot up and off the long edge of the mat to create our foundation, our support. Moving the bottom leg back behind us in a way that feels comfortable for us to bend that knee, bringing heel to hip. And then swimming that top arm around to make contact with our foot, even if that means opening up the chest towards the ceiling, giving more room in our shoulders. You can really control the intensity with something like this by firming up the glutes, pulling the knee back behind you. Both of those movements are going to increase the intensity in the front of the thigh in front of the hip. Exhale, we gently release. Swinging the arm back the way that it came so that we are palm face down in front of the heart space for our support. While we move the top leg back on top of the bottom. Again, if this is not stable, we can bend that bottom leg slightly, creating a firmer foundation or a wider foundation. And then we bring the heel towards the hip. Maybe clasping, interlacing fingers around the big toe. Staying here if this feels good. Or maybe in our next inhale, we move from the hip socket, starting to straighten that left leg, top leg. Maybe sitting for a second or a breath cycle before releasing. Maybe using a new breath to move again. And we find a comfortable movement or stillness for our last breath cycle. Gently release, unraveling the fingers, letting the leg come down to the mat. We roll back again onto our belly, fingers, or excuse me, hands underneath the shoulders as we rest, forehead down to the mat. Here we go. Inhale, pressing us up to Cobra, whatever version you want to be in today. Exhale, fold slowly, with control, intentionally. Boom, forehead kisses. Inhale, roll back up. Knees are engaged, we're strong in the legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right back up. Exhale, fold. Forehead kisses, toes curl on the inhale. We press up gently to all fours, bringing knees right underneath the hips. We're going to drop the elbows right where the forearms are, or right where the hands are, excuse me. Gaze is right in between the thumbs. You can keep the toes curled or flip the feet, tops of the feet to the mat. So we start to walk the hands in front of us, maybe dropping the chin or forehead to the mat. One more breath cycle. And exhale. We gently rise, walking ourselves back. Big toes come together, knees as wide as the mat. And we're sending the hips all the way down to the heels, reaching the arms back out towards the front of the mat. Extended child's pose. Maybe you want to keep it kind of on the theme of gentleness that we've been doing. And you bring the elbows nice and wide, creating maybe a little triangle with the thumbs and forefinger. And exhale. We press ourselves back up to table, knees come underneath the hips. We curl the toes under, and on the inhale, we're sending hips up high, downward facing dog. Maybe pedal out your dog when you get there. And then let's find a moment of stillness. Sending the breath into the low back. On your next inhale, you start to walk the hands back towards the feet. And into a gentle forward fold, maybe swaying from side to side. We'll find a moment of stillness for one breath cycle. And on your exhale, we'll slowly start to walk ourselves back out into our downward facing dog. Big inhale, and on the exhale, we're dropping the knees all the way to the mat, crossing the ankles behind us as we roll right back through to a seated position. Making adjustments when you get there if you need to. And once we're here, we'll sit up nice and tall, closing the eyes maybe for a breath. Left leg stays where it's at, right leg comes out wide. And keep everything nice and relaxed, or maybe we flex the feet, bringing the toes towards the ceiling or face. And we find a hand placement on our right side as we lift the left arm up and over toward the right toes. Exhale, left arm swings up and over, followed by the right, all the way up and over. Left hand plants as we reach towards the left with the right fingertips. Exhale, windmill back the way that we came. Right fingers reach over, or left fingers reach over to the right. Inhale lifts you back through center as we take it to the other side. Right heel to the midline, left leg out long. We'll find our hand placement on the left as we reach the right arm up and over. Inhale up and over. Left arm comes with us to reach over towards the right. Exhale back the way you came, windmilling, right fingers over towards the left. And exhale, we reach back up through center. We draw the left foot in to meet the right in whatever cross-legged position feels comfortable for you. And we'll sit up nice and tall together, taking a few final deep breaths. Closing the eyes if that feels right and natural for you. Move our hands for our last breath, maybe one hand on the heart, one on the belly. Encouraging this lift in the chest and lengthening in the spine. Eyes closed, we'll take one last breath together. Big inhale. Long exhale. Thank you for being with me, practicing with me today. Thank yourself for showing up. It is the most difficult thing sometimes that we can do. You did it. Proud of you, and I'll see you next time.